Hey guys, and welcome back to the FPL Pop In Pod, episode 5 this time. I'm your host, Migtavius, along, as always, with Nymphaea.
Hey Mig.
And we are from the FPL Journal. How are you doing tonight, Nim?
Not too bad in yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. We're recording this after the League Cup games, the Caramel Cup or whatever it's called nowadays.
Caramel,
It's Jamie Carragher Cup or something like that. But I'm feeling pretty good. Palace actually scored. Palace actually won.
Oh,
They got that 1-0 win that I predicted for the weekend. But, a couple of days late is fine.
A couple of days late. And I did ask for them not to do it at Southampton. So maybe they were listening.
It's true. You said they could go after that. So
yeah.
Obviously went with the cup game, which is fine, through to the next round.
That's good.
And Sacco's back, one to keep an eye on there. One game, one clean sheet, one win.
Yeah.
4.9 mil, I think he is, so...
Yeah. I think I'll be staying away from Palace.
Yeah. We only got Man City at the weekend. What's the worst going to happen? We couldn't do worse than, say, Watford did.
Yeah, 6-0. Oof. Watford looked pretty bad.
The Hornets got stung.
Yeah, Aguero hat-trick, Jesus, Otamendi and Sterling chipping in, all on the score sheet there. I think that sees City unbeaten now, and they're looking pretty unstoppable, really. So the question, I think, in FPL is not if we have a City player, but who to choose.
Who to choose and how many to squeeze in.
Exactly.
Can you fill up on those 3? Do you spread them around? Obviously, Otamendi at the back. Do you have one in each position? Or double up front? Expensive, but...
Or like me, do you just, do without?
Who needs them,
I need them, but we'll get on to that a bit later.
But yeah, they are looking like more of a unit this year than they did last year. Yeah. Obviously, their defence wasn't the best last year, but seem to have solidified that a bit more this year. I think they've only conceded 2 goals in the 5 games, which is obviously a lot better with the clean sheets.
Well, I think it helps, when you spend a lot of money on players.
Well, yeah, I mean, the amount of money they spend on fullbacks alone is atrocious.
But they say money talks, and it's definitely doing its talking at the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people will make it work, unlike Everton, who spent a lot of money and it seems to have not paid off as much as Man City's had. On the other end of a trouncing from the other team from Manchester, Man United, coming up with another 4-0 win.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a cliche now.
Yeah, they're definitely making it their thing, aren't they, this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Chelsea before where they would grab a goal, sit back, and then grab one more. But now Man United are doing grab a goal, sit back, and then we'll just grab 3 more in the last 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's like Jose said, at the beginning of the season, go out there and score 4-0 every game. They've literally taken that. Yeah.
Let's just go crazy this year.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Until Zlatan comes back and steals all the goals. Well, they took up most of the goals from the weekend because out of the other 8 games, there's only 11 goals.
Wow.
So,
that's a bit rubbish.
Yeah. There was a lot of clean sheets and
it was mainly defenders that seemed to do pretty well.
Talking about clean sheets, our heavyweight game from last week. There was a couple of clean sheets in that game. Not ones that we predicted.
No.
Again.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a 0-0 at Chelsea-Arsenal. Still no Sanchez and Lacazette on the pitch, as we kind of chatted about in our last podcast. Have they signed a deal not to play together, Davies?
It could be in their contracts that their egos won't fit on the same pitch.
Quite possibly. Maybe Sanchez said something like, if I stay at the club, I am not playing with Lacazette because I want to be centre forward on the pitch. So basically, if I'm on the pitch, there can be no other centre forward on the pitch.
Yeah. I'll only play out on the side if it's Giroud, because I know Giroud and I'm friends with Giroud. Not this other French fella who's come in.
But I have to say, I felt a lot better watching Arsenal on the weekend. We looked a much better side, far more structured in defence, which is, not something I can say a lot for so far this season. But as you say, our predictions, I think you predicted 2-0 and I predicted 2-1 and we were wrong again.
I got the nil, you know. We tend to have one team's score right.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of it all goes a bit pot. Yeah. But it was the first time, I believe, that Chelsea didn't score at home under Conte. So, you know, that's a bit unpredictable, especially recent form against Arsenal.
Just popping back to the draws again. I did say last week that we hadn't seen too many so far this season, and just as I say that, there are 5 in one game week.
Almost as if they're listening.
Half 5. Oh, it's crazy.
It made match of the day fun to watch.
Yeah.
We touched upon last week's supporting act very briefly, which was the Man United Everton game.
Yeah.
Which we did actually predict who would win that.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be difficult, really, would it, after Everton's midweek performance?
Yeah, that was pretty
and
bad.
I did predict the right amount goals with my Desmond Tutu.
Yeah.
But just all for one side.
Yeah, it's just greedy again. Yeah. We're trying to spread the goals out, and there's just normally one team that's just hogging them all.
Yeah.
And they're normally from Manchester, and they're greedy. I might as well say about
your surprise pick.
Yeah, my surprise pick. Which was no surprise whatsoever because we didn't score again. We didn't keep a clean sheet again. We lost 1-0. I got the 1-0, but it was the other way around.
Yeah.
So another wrong one. But it could have been 3-1 if it wasn't for Fraser Forstfield. You know. How he made those saves, I do not know. And he prevented Goodbye somehow with some dark magic from touching the ball into the goal. But, you know, that's by. That, you know, it wasn't really a surprise that I was hoping it to be, but...
Yeah, well, as I say, they were clearly listening to myself when I asked them just to hold off another week because I had mostly Southampton defenders in almost all of my teams, you know, all my draft teams and such, so I really kind of needed Southampton to keep a clean sheet, so I really think they might have been listening there. But my surprise pick was Liverpool and Burnley, and I thought there might be some goals in this game because Burnley been doing well recently. And I was kind of half right. I mean, it ended up being an actual draw, 1-1. Neither of them kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
So I said they were both a bit, in defence.
Dodgy at the back.
Yeah. And that places Burnley above Liverpool in the league, if you can believe it. So pretty surprising, I suppose.
Especially after Liverpool against Arsenal. You would have thought Liverpool would have kicked on from that.
Yeah.
But they obviously had the result against Man City, and now this. So they really need to turn around. And they lost in the Cup tonight as well.
Yeah. It's really looking like one of two things, isn't it? I think it's looking either like Mane is absolutely integral to the Liverpool team.
Carrying it.
Or the Ox has brought a massive curse along with him.
He took the curse of the Emirates.
Yeah, and brought it to
Liverpool.
Anfield. Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Well, after Kane.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Maybe Ox is cursed
then
in
again,
September.
it's September now, Harold. Where were you? We'll get on to that in a minute.
Well, as you were saying about Harry, shall we reveal what we got points-wise last week?
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Go on, you first.
I got 59 points.
Oh, ooh.
Not bad. Nice. Ticking over that 50-point mark.
Yeah,
just trying to around that sort of 50 each week. It's not too bad, nothing too strenuous, but it takes me to 263 overall and 1.2 mil overall. So I have fallen down in the overall ranks. So I did have mostly red arrows in my flying squadron of leagues. A couple of greens, but mainly reds. Which, even though it's 59, I mean, it just shows what good weeks other people had if they, say, had a little Argentinian up front.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a little Argentinian up front. And you know how much that kills me inside, because although I am an Arsenal fan, there are just a few players that people happen to know that I absolutely love from Man City, Jesus and Aguero being those players. So it kind of is mashing me up not having them in my team. But I got 56 points, so 2 below the average. Not that brilliant. That puts me on 235 points overall. But, interestingly, I still got mostly green arrows from that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that just shows how badly I've been doing in previous weeks.
So the company you keep.
There's 3 leagues, I think, out of all my leagues where I got reds. So, but I got, in the end, I decided to get Firmino in for Chicharito because Chicharito just really wasn't doing much for me.
Yeah, I get to that.
And I decided to get Choupo-Moting in for Pogba, because obviously Pogba's picked up that kind of 4 to 8 week injury.
Oh, that was a big one.
Yeah. Really annoyingly, I had Lukaku as my captain all the way up until about halfway before the deadline on Friday evening. Stressful week, lots of travelling. Managed to frantically get on the internet just half an hour before the deadline, thinking I need to make transfers because Pogba's injured and I need to think about getting some Liverpool coverage because I didn't have any at the time. So chucked Chupa and Firmino in and suddenly thought, oh my gosh, it's September and Harry Kane's back. Quickly, I must captain him in every team that I possibly can. And yeah, I just knew the second the deadline went that I'd done the wrong thing. I just had that little light bulb moment where I thought, oh no, shouldn't have done that, Nim. Shouldn't have done that. And then as I sat there and watched Lukaku put in his goal and get his assist.
Putting his ear up, he was listening for you.
I just kind of thought, yeah, I knew it. So, yeah, that's my luck all over.
Harold is double cursed. He may have got over August, but there's still Wembley. At least Wembley in the league.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that Harold is your star man.
No.
Quickly before we get on to these player reviews, I'll just give a quick reminder of what each thing are, just in case you are a new listener.
Welcome, if you are.
If you are, hello.
And if you're just a bit forgetful like me, then this is always just a good thing anyway.
I mean, I always write them down each week. It helps me. Starman is obviously your star performer, normally the highest points sort of thing of the week.
Yeah, I never usually have too many of them.
There's normally a standout person, maybe who's actually got double figures. The fire player is looking forward to the next week, someone who you think is going to perform regardless of fixtures. Just maybe they're in red hot form, sort of thing, you know.
Yep.
There's the Duff Puff, who is someone you would expect to do well, but they've just let you down like a lead balloon, deflated your whole game week. There's the Lightning Pick, or Storm Force, if you want to call it that. And that's the person that week that's maybe been a bit of a one-hit wonder. They've done something, maybe they've got a clean sheet out of nowhere or goal out of nowhere that you don't think they're going to do again, maybe for a few weeks. And then there's the Bin of Sin, which...
Bin of Sin.
Bum, bum, bum. Which normally houses the people who are on tenterhooks of whether or not they're going to get cut from the squad. They're in the corner, shoved in a little bin.
Yeah.
Thinking about what they've done with their life and how they've disappointed you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think, by the way you were talking, that Harold is your star man this week.
Nah.
So who indeed was it?
So I'm going to give my star man accolade to Richie this game week. He got 11 points. Ooh. So yeah, that's 4 assists in 5 games now for him. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Who would sell him?
Exactly, yeah. So, thanks for that, by the way.
I released him.
Yeah, you released him into the wild.
To the world of
freed
points.
Him up. So, yeah, that's my star man. Who is yours?
Well, someone who also got 11 points. And as you were saying with your Lukaku, Harry Kane captain decisions, this was a last minute thing as well, because I'd literally forgotten about the deadline until about a quarter of an hour beforehand.
Wow, we did well.
So, yeah, we did. Yeah, it's almost as if we're, professionals. But I had to quickly, because I had Mane from last week, who's obviously a red.
You broke him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he broke someone. But In several places, I hear. But I had a small panic and sort of threw him out. And I was thinking, do I load De Bruyne? Do I go Silva? So I just kind of went, I'll throw Silva in.
Oh, how terrible for you.
And he came up trumps.
Yeah, really did.
He did. There was a silver lining on that pick. Big 11.
Oh.
2 assists and a clean sheet.
See, why is it when you make last-minute decisions, they come off all roses for you? But when I make last-minute decisions, I'm sat there literally like wanting to bang my head against a brick wall. It's just not fair.
Well, I can't tell you how I do it because I don't know how I do it.
Well, when you figure it out, bottle it and sell it for a lot of money to FPL managers.
When I figure out the luck, when I sell KDB and Richie and buy someone who smashes someone's face in, I'll let people know.
Yeah.
So I can ruin it.
Fair enough.
I can ruin it for everyone else. You know. But
just remember to pass it on, at some point for me.
But he'll be broken this week. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I'll make
a
point not to get him in.
That's why I'm not making him my fire player for next week.
Okay, so who are you making your fire player?
Someone who's already had it a couple of times from me. In fact, this is the 3rd week in a row. It's almost getting boring. Jesus.
No.
Because he's up against Palace.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's big talk about Aguero. Everyone's shoving him in. So I've already got Jesus. And he's already scored 2 games in a row now. So, he's going to make it 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Because he's against Palace.
Well, you know what? I don't know whether I got a bit of a feeling on this one.
You got more faith in my team than I do.
I don't know whether it's more faith in Palace.
Or lack of faith in Jesus. Is that what you're saying?
No, don't put the words in my mouth. Don't get me into trouble here now, Meg.
With who?
I just don't think that this might be as easy as it's looking on paper. I'm going to be proved completely wrong, I know it. But yeah, on paper, it looks scary. It really does look, when you start to add up some of the things that Crystal Palace, like not having scored, not having won, all of these sorts of things. And then you look at Man City and their average of goals and... Yeah, I mean, it looks really scary on paper. But football is football, and that's why we love it. And I think you guys are going to go out there and defend like your lives depend on it. I can't see you scoring a goal.
No.
And you will lose.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think.
I'm looking for the silver lining.
Here we go with the predictions again. So this is bound to be wrong. But...
Oh, that's good.
I do think it might not be as high scoring as everyone is imagining it to be.
That's fine. As long as Jesus is the one who does it.
Fair enough.
I mean, they can lose all they want, as long as maybe Jesus grabs a goal.
My fire pick this week is also my lightning pick.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, double header.
Yeah.
Like lightning coming down and causing fire.
So I'm going to say that my fire pick is Alonso because he's fairly consistent with his points so far for me. So based on that, you could say, well, any Chelsea defender would be a good idea. So, I'm getting where I'm sensing where you're thinking on that.
Yeah, as long as they don't get a red card.
Well, yeah, that as well. But Alonso is up against Stoke next, and they've won 1, lost 2, and drawn 2, and I believe they conceded 6 goals. This, I think, this lightning pick is more hope and desperation for Alonso than anything else, that he does something. Because I did take a -4 to get him in. Well, I took a -12 during that purge, and he was one of the players that I got in. And I'm just kind of praying and hoping that he will provide more than just a clean sheet against Stoke. And hopefully bring that lightning power and just grab me an assist or a goal. Because Yeah, he could be soon in the possible transfer section, if you're catching my drift. I mean, it's just so much money tied up in him that even with Chelsea's run of games, and that is the only reason at the moment why I'm kind of clutching on that and having taken the hit to get him in, the only reason why he's like got his place in my team. So I think, you know what I'm like, I'm a sucker for attacking defender, and he needs to prove to me that he is one of those. Otherwise, he's getting shipped out for somebody who is, you know?
Yeah. So. I mean, well, that was pretty forceful. So if you're listening, Marcus...
So he's got to bring the lightning. He's got to bring the lightning, my friend.
Bring the lightning, bring the flash.
Yeah.
Bring the fire.
Exactly.
Like his hair. He's got fiery hair. The hair dye.
Okay. Who's your lightning pick?
My lightning one for this week was someone who's actually been lightning before, so it's not really worked out too well, but it was a bit of a difference between the weeks, and that's Norton again.
Okay,
Naughty Norton.
Love a bit of naughty Norton.
Naughty rises again. Naughty Norton rises again. That sounds worse.
Oh, why?
Because he got a clean sheet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Naughty Norton kept a clean sheet.
Uh-huh.
Which he's done before.
Oh, yeah.
And he probably will again. Because, they got quite a good run of games, Swansea. But it was against Spurs, which I wasn't anticipating. And I was actually a bit worried that he was in the team. And I'd forgotten to take him out. Mm-hmm. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when the Wembley curse came into effect and Spurs just couldn't score. So I think they'll keep a clean sheet again, but I'm not too sure against any of the quote-unquote top teams because it was more Spurs not finishing their chances than Swansea doggedly defending because he was sort of bailed out by Fabianski a couple of times.
Yeah, Fabianski did have a good game.
He's my lightning one for this one because he may not do that again against a big team.
That's fair enough.
But if he didn't do it against a big team, that wouldn't qualify him as a duff puff because I'm expecting that. Mm-hmm. What I'm not expecting, 3 weeks of nothing from Chicharito.
Yeah.
He had his brace and now he's gone missing.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I sold him.
Yeah, so if anyone's got a picture of him, can you put him on some milk cartons?
Send him out.
And send them, because we need to find Chicharito again.
Wanted.
Because apparently...
Little P.
little P missing.
Little P
missing. B. I mean, I can't remember anything he'd done in the game besides getting fouled by Foster and getting subbed off before Andy Carroll. I don't really know what that says, but I didn't really think I'd say something like that.
No.
But he seems to be first in the line for being subbed, which isn't good.
No. It's not exactly what you want.
No. Not from someone who's got a good run of games.
Yeah.
And can score goals.
Well,
as he proved.
I just can't believe my luck in that department. I mean, that third striker spot has just been awful for me. I had Kingy there first. He did nothing. I then put Chicharito in, who's done nothing. And then I bought Firmino for this game week and done nothing. And I might make Firmino my duff puff, actually. Because after, getting him in and finally hoping my luck has changed for my third striker spot, and then he just goes and does nothing either. Just puffs out after a massive firework in previous weeks. He just manages to kind of puff his way into my team and do faff all.
Faff all.
Faff all.
Faffing Firmino.
Faffing Firmino, duff puffing his way around my team.
Pick it up, Bob. What you doing?
Exactly.
Puffing all over it.
Crikey.
But yeah, but that third striker position seems to be quite a tricky one because if you don't basically fill all three of them with premium players, the third one is very there's no one really lower price that's keeping a consistent scoring.
No.
You had like Mounier peaks and then Chicharito peaks and now Wood is peaking. So it's almost as if you're having to preempt a week before who you think might score.
Exactly. It's feeling like, I don't know what the stats are necessarily like, but it's feeling like a team almost premium striker heavy and premium defender heavy is a better team than possibly being all midfielder heavy. But I don't know whether that's just because the third striker spot is so difficult. Like you said, you've got a couple in that 8 mark, and then most of them are above 10, and then that are doing any good. And then below that, as you say, below the 8 mark is just like, or even from the 8 mark down, Firmino, Rooney, these type of players, they're just not being consistent. You can't say chuck a really cheap Abraham in and know that he, at the moment anyway, know that he will score, every couple of games, and you can think, well, I don't mind that from my cheap third striker.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't expect them to be scoring every game, but you do maybe pitch it in with an assist.
Yeah.
Every couple of games or something. But they seem to be, Abraham scores a goal, and now he hasn't done anything for about 3 weeks. So it's just preempting who's there and who can replace the people in your bin of sin.
Yes.
Of which, of course, Chicharito is in there.
Okay.
For me.
I don't blame you.
No. It's been 3 weeks now. Not sure if he'll survive to a fourth. I have to look at alternatives. There's a couple of names I'm looking at. Firmino I was looking at, but obviously he's puffed all over for you, so I'm not sure about that. Vardy was looking good, but he is a yellow, something to do with his groin. Not sure if that's the same sort of thing as Danny Welbeck. I'm not sure how they both got that the same week. But they're a bit more than Chicharito. I think they're a million more or so. But so maybe someone like Rashford is a bit more feasible. Or I could, like you said, just drop right down to a Wood or an Abraham or something, and then use those funds elsewhere to beef up defence or midfield or something.
Tough call. I struggled with that one myself. So that third strike spot's so difficult. Yes, so many wild cards flying about with 3 premium forwards, and you just think, oh, I'd love to have those 3 forwards.
Who do I get rid of to get that? I need more money.
Give me your team.
If anyone wants to loan us FPL money,
that'd be good.
You can have it back at the end of the year. DM us.
We don't really have anything in interest, but we'll we'll mention you lots of times.
Yeah, you can have a lot of thank yous.
So slightly differently, my bin of sin player is going to be Sutner. There are just too many other better players for that kind of 4.5. I think he may have even dropped, or he is very close to dropping now. So, yeah, he's definitely in my bin of sin. And in fact, I've already made a transfer. Just going to go straight into the transfers. Yeah.
Wow, you got to nowadays. I mean, you got to go hard. You got to go early.
Well, you have to, because the price rises and the price drops this year are vicious. They're vicious, absolutely is what they are. There is no other way to describe them. They're just vicious.
You people should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Like, what are you doing to us, kind of seasoned pros?
It's a Monday to Friday thing.
Yeah.
You know? Have the weekend off from doing transfers.
Man, it's just...
Hit it on Monday.
So stressful.
Or Tuesday even.
So stressful that you have to look at your kind of price rises and price drops on a Saturday evening. You think, FPL's here this weekend, I'll just enjoy the footy, see how my players do, enjoy it, won't have to worry about transfers until at least, Tuesday. I'll start thinking about who I might get in, see how the midweek games go. Oh no, not this year. Hell no. This year is like somebody does well on Saturday, boom, get them into my team. And I just
can't even watch Match of the Day in peace.
Can't even watch in peace. So Sunday, I almost wildcarded.
Oof.
Almost activated it. Listening to City just wipe their stank all over Watford. It scared the hell out of me not having any City players, and I just sat there. No Salah, got out Salah. No KDB, I transferred him to Eriksen. No Mkhitaryan. Like, I literally have all of my cash it feels like, tied up in Kane, Eriksen, Alonso and David De Gea. And I was sat there Sunday evening and I just thought, I don't know if I can go on kind of just struggling through with having all my money tied up in those players, because when they bang, it's brilliant. It's worth every penny. But is that then hurting the rest of my squad? So basically, I mean, I go over it in a bit more detail in my videos, but decided not to pull the trigger in the end. Made do on Sunday evening with getting my bin of sin person, Sutner, out and shipping in LaSalle's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just managed to catch a sneaky price rise on that. Because as we've just said, you know, the price rises are just manic. So, yeah, managed to catch a wave of a 0.1 on him. So, you know, it kind of helped stave my itchy fingers, at least for Sunday evening. But now I'm sat here thinking, should I maybe take a -4 to get in some City coverage? And if I do, who do I do it for? I mean, do I get KDB back in for Eriksen, which I can do?
Yeah.
You know, do I go to Silver, seeing as,
Silver
he's
lining.
done you quite
Long John Silver.
so nicely? Or do I do the even scarier option of Kane to Aguero? So,
Which doesn't seem that scary at the moment. A lot of people doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing it. I don't know though. The one thing I guess that kept me holding on with the wild card is that it depends on what you want to use your wild card for, I suppose. Like, do you use it to catch price rises and to shape up your team for the coming weeks, or do you use it in times of desperation, as in, I've got 3 injuries here and 2 players that aren't playing or doing anything or getting rotated quite often or something, you know? And if I've set my team up well, which I haven't done this season, but that's usually when I would kind of use my wildcard, when things are looking a bit kind of, oh crap, what else do I do, sort of thing. So
yeah, like when you like having an extra life, sort of a reset button.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's like, oh my god, I have all these dead players. I need to reset. Boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tend to be when I try to do it. I try not to use a wild card if I really don't have to. But normally around the sort of Christmas time, with all those, because there's normally some big injuries around the Christmas time that normally keeps people out to the new year.
I think that's the thing that's kind of playing in my head at the moment. I've taken a -12. If I now use my wild card, where do I go when it comes to further down the line, Christmas run of games, that sort of thing, you know? What do I do then? But, you know, I am feeling a bit like this week I may have played too cautious and not wildcarding, but I guess only time will tell on that one. But that's enough about me chattering on about my transfers. Are you planning to do any?
Well, obviously spoke about Chicharito, maybe getting him out. There are a couple of other names maybe in the frame, and that's Begovic in goal. I'm not really playing him. He doesn't really seem like a viable option at the moment. They haven't kept any clean sheets. Whereas other 4.5 keepers are, obviously Lözl and Fabianski. So I could drop him down to obviously Elliot, who's 0.4 of a mil cheaper and kept 2 clean sheets. And he's not got that bad of run of games. Or to Fabianski. But Fabianski would mean having to make another change because I've already got 3 Swansea players somehow in my squad.
Wow.
Two filling up the midfield. I'm not sure how I've done that. So I'd have to get Carroll or Fur back out to get him in. Obviously, I don't need 2 Swansea midfielders. So yeah, it's pretty much just Begovic, Chicharito who are in my thoughts at the moment. We have a quick breeze past the Journal League. Still got the same leader, Luke. Still holding
well done,
up.
Luke.
Still greeting people at the top, saying nice to meet you. He got 62 this week, taking up to 348 points.
Wow, nice.
Crazy. But we both went up in the league.
Woo!
Not to the dizzying heights of first.
I'm not sure I'll ever get there.
Maybe. There's still plenty of time to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved up to 53rd.
Oh.
And you moved up a couple of places to 109th.
Woo! I might get above that 100 if I'm lucky. That's my aim this season.
To get there.
Top 100 in our league, that'll do me fine. Like, I'm not talking about none of this first. Nah.
No.
You
don't win your own league,
No,
do you?
you can't win your own league. That's just wrong. So, yeah. Top 100 will do me. That's all good. All good. So, seeing as we've talked about who's our heavyweight in our leagues, shall we talk about who the heavyweight match will be for this coming game week?
Segue.
Nice.
There's not too many sort of obvious heavyweights this week. There's no
biggies.
There's no big team clashes this week. So our heavyweight is actually going to be Leicester versus Liverpool.
Oh, yep.
Which, funny enough, was actually the game tonight in the Cup on the TV. Leicester coming out on top on that one. Obviously, they both had sort of second string teams out. But I think it may go the same way.
Ooh.
I think it might be 2-1 to Leicester. Leicester have won the last 2 meetings at home.
Yep.
And of course, Mane is still banned for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, their defence isn't going to know what to do.
Well, I'll think it'll just depend on whether Chamberlain plays or not, I guess, as to whether Liverpool will win or not. So I've gone with a 3-2 to Liverpool.
Something different.
Something different.
Maybe someone will actually get, it'll be a draw now, won't it?
It probably, yeah. A 0-0 draw. Yeah, I think that there should be plenty of goals in this game. Either way, I think it should be quite an interesting one. Especially if Vardy is okay and he's back. I think it could
If his groin's okay.
Yeah.
Because Vardy has scored 5 goals in their last 3 meetings between the two sides. Obviously not including tonight. Because he didn't play tonight. But, so the last 3 league meetings scored 5 goals. So, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
For maybe grabbing one if he plays or brace. But yeah, so maybe he could get those 2 Leicester goals.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I haven't got any Leicester players, so
no, neither have I.
Or Liverpool players, thinking about it, since I sold Mane. So I'll be a keen neutral watching that one.
Yeah. Well, I gotta hope Firmino does something, otherwise, it's really looking like I should have used my wildcard. Because he probably would have been sacrificed in that wildcard. It's the kind of thing where Firmino would have gone and Salah would have come back in, so I would have had Liverpool coverage. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not I should have stuck with Bobby or whether I should have sold for sizzling Salah.
So really, Bobby's playing for his future, and Mark is playing for his future. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of pressure on the games this week.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of pressure on the London derby, as there always is in London derbies, which is our supporting act.
Yeah.
West Ham versus Tottenham could get physical.
Yeah, it could. And I'm hoping it does. And I'm hoping it goes Spurs' way because, as I've explained, I have decided to hold on to my Spurs players in the hope that they do actually, show up this game week and do something. So I am hoping that it will be 3-0, 3-1 to Spurs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which one are you going for? Because I have one of those. My prediction was one of those. So are you going to go for the same? Or are you
I think 3-1.
Oh, snap. Crackle and pop.
So,
that means that's dead set on if we're both going for it.
Yeah, it's never going to happen, is it? West Ham are going to win 3-1.
West Ham fans, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, they did do Spurs over last season.
They did.
And
they pretty much ended their title race.
It was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lanzini.
Yeah.
The little Argentinian frontman.
So, they could do it again. And knowing my luck, it'll probably be Chicharito.
Probably. I'll probably sell him.
Yeah.
And he'll be free again to score goals.
So, yeah, that'll all hinge as well on whether I take that -4 to get a City player in. Because no doubt, if I sell Eriksen or Kane for that City player, one of those two will be the ones that'll do something.
Probably.
So
probably will.
So,
just let us know which one you're doing beforehand, so
yeah.
we can get that one in.
Yeah, and sorry to anyone who's just bought the City player that I may potentially buy as well, because I'll probably play
Everyone's sitting on tender hooks, like, oh my god, which one did you buy?
I'm gonna get a roll of tweets now saying, Nim, please don't buy any City players. Stay with your Tottenham ones. Yeah, just really kind of hoping Spurs kind of pull it out the bag there, and that I haven't been foolish by holding on when I should have jumped on the train with so many people on it.
A wild card train.
Yeah, I've been left behind at the station and I don't really like it. I'm surrounded by Spurs players left at a station and I feel all alone. An Arsenal fan among a station of Spurs players.
Oh god, you don't want to be a Spurs fan stuck in a
and I want to be on the City train. And I
Not
can't
the Arsenal
get
train,
on without a wild card.
You're not going to fill your team up with Arsenal players or anything, you know.
No.
Which would be surprising.
Yes. Killing the segues
this week. To our surprise fixtures for next week.
And who have you gone with?
I've gone for a local derby again. Mm-hmm. Burnley versus Huddersfield. Only an hour apart from each other. It's the War of the Roses, Lancashire versus Yorkshire.
Wow.
Yeah, what?
Wow.
Oh, wow. We said where? Sorry. I just told you, Lancashire, Yorkshire.
You always come out with these useless,
little
sound bites.
War of the Roses. Great. Big history buff.
You are.
I am. But their apparently. But the last 6 meetings, they're sharing them 3 wins apiece. Ooh. So this could be a rubber match. Burnley have won the most recent 3. They've scored 10 to Huddersfield 8. So I think this one will buck the trend at 2-2.
Cool. And that's surprising because I've also gone for a draw in my surprise fixture. 5
come along in 1 week and now it's fashionable again.
Fashionable again. I've gone with the Swansea-Watford game. I think both will be absolutely desperate to score after their droughts last week. So they'll both have something to prove there. And they both will probably think that they can, they can go out there and win this one and get themselves the 3 points.
Swansea should have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
Than Watford. But Watford need to react in a positive way.
Yeah. So I decided to go 3-3 in that one.
Oh, big scoring
I think
draw.
It could be the hitter of the week, that one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Goals all over the place.
Yeah, is that a reflection on their attacking abilities or their defensive frailties?
Probably a mixture of both. I think given the right game, both teams have quite strong attacking threats. And I also think that both can have their moments of weakness in defence. They have been good, much better this season, I think both of them in defence. But I think it's the sort of thing where if they're focusing so hard on grabbing the goals, which I think they will be, that could leave the gate open for that counter-attack.
Yeah. They both definitely have pace up front with means to score goals. Mm-hmm. Okay, is that it? Have we missed something?
Yeah, well, I don't know about you. I'd like to tell the good people about my funniest moment of the week.
Oh, of course. Our funniest moment. I must not have written that one down. See? Should always write things down to remind you.
Indeed.
Okay. So what was your funniest moment then?
In the City match, that comical moment of who takes the penalty.
No, it's like a game show.
I know, and there was Aguero all ready to take the penalty, and then Sterling suddenly insists on having it, even though Pep is like, give it to Aguero, like he's on penalties. And then I love how Pep suddenly kind of changes his mind quite quickly as not to look foolish because Sterling is so adamant to take it that like all of a sudden you just kind of see him wave his hand like, go, just go on then, just do it then.
Do it.
Yeah.
Petrol.
Yeah, like, go on then if you must, sort of thing. And in the meantime, Aguero's like, I don't really care. I've done my job for today. I've scored loads of goals. Go on,
I've got my hat trick. I don't need a penalty.
Whatever, crack on. I'm not close to any kind of, record or anything, even though he is. He probably forgot about that at the time, but was just more like, too bloody knackered and I missed too many penalties anyway, so you carry on.
You can try this one. Just don't get sent off by
Yeah.
taking, going into the fans.
So, what about yourself? What was your funniest moment?
Soccer Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And the king of mispronunciations, Paul Merson, didn't mispronounce, well, he mispronounced a couple of names, but he always does that. But it was for Vardy's mischance.
Yeah, don't pick on the people who mispronounce, It's
No.
not easy. It's
Yeah,
not easy.
I mean...
Although if you are looking for a replacement,
Yeah.
I am always open
I mean,
to...
there's a lot of male faces on
Yeah.
that table, there could be a fairer face there.
I'd be willing to represent for the females out there,
I think you could do well. You could probably do better than the ball being flown across and Vardy should score from point blank range.
Mm-hmm.
And Merson says he didn't even have to touch it, right?
Just in order to score
that's not
a
the
goal.
funny. Yeah, he didn't have to touch it. All he had to do was run onto it and let it hit him on the shin. Now, how you let something hit you on the shin without touching it? I'm not too sure. I'm sure there's something in the physics of Merson world. But I was just kind of sat there like, oh, what? What?
Maybe he's been told he shouldn't touch something. He shouldn't.
Maybe. I mean, you never see the hands on that desk.
So, maybe that was fresh in his head when he was talking.
Laetitia must have said something to him. Yeah, that made me chuckle and cry inside as well, on equal measures of how this man still got a job. Love you, Merce. Arsenal legend.
Yeah. On that note,
yeah, we should probably
get
go.
out. I think we should probably get out now while we still can.
while we're still alive.
Let's get out now while we still can,
We'll just obviously visit us at the website, fpljournal.com, Twitter page at FPL Journal blog. I'm at McTavius.
And I'm at Nymphria TV. And you can catch me on YouTube at /FPL Nymphria.
Some great videos, a couple more coming out this week.
Hopefully.
Busy away editing, I hear. And also you can catch the podcast on there as well.
Yep.
And you can catch it on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. All the links are on the Twitter page. Check us out. If you have any of those limericks.
Yes.
We didn't have any. I forgot to put it on social media, so it's kind of my fault. So I'll put that out this week.
Gotta let the people know, man.
Put it out this week and see if we get any for next week. So get the limericks in. Have a good week. Green arrows all around. And don't forget to keep popping.
#keep popping.
Nim, don't forget the door.